Imagine getting a message you can't read. Now, imagine getting thousands of them, every single day. That's exactly what's happening to us. Each one carrying more energy than our sun produces in 3 full days. Gone in less than 1 millisecond. We've been receiving them for 20 years. We still can't read a single one. They're called fast radio bursts, and they might be the most terrifying mystery in modern science. In 2001, a radio telescope in Australia caught something odd. Nobody noticed. The data sat on a hard drive, untouched, for 6 years. When we finally found it in 2007, we assumed it was a glitch, a one-off, a mistake. It wasn't. Since then, over 1,000 of these signals, coming from every direction in the sky, from galaxies billions of light years away. How powerful are we talking? Our sun has been burning for 4.5 billion years, non-stop, every second of every day. One of these bursts releases more energy than the sun does in 3 full days, in less than 1 millisecond, from something we can't even see. And they're not coming from next door. We can tell how far a signal has traveled by how stretched out it is when it arrives. The more stretched, the further it came. These signals were stretched beyond anything we'd seen, not from our galaxy, other galaxies, billions of light years away. If the signal is that powerful after traveling that far, imagine what it looked like at the source. We're not talking about a star exploding. We're talking about something that makes a supernova look quiet. So what could produce that kind of power? Meet the magnetar. A magnetar is what's left when a massive star dies, roughly the size of a city, but it weighs more than the sun. Its magnetic field is so powerful, if you stood next to one, every metal object around you would be ripped away instantly. Your keys, your phone, the fillings in your teeth. Not somewhere you'd want to visit. Sometimes the surface cracks, like an earthquake, but on a dead star. When that happens, a massive burst of energy fires out into space, in radio waves, in milliseconds. Sound familiar? In 2020, we caught one from inside our own galaxy, traced it back to a magnetar, 30,000 light years away. For a moment, it looked solved. It wasn't. The burst was strong, but not nearly strong enough. To explain signals from billions of light years away, a magnetar would need to be thousands of times more powerful than anything we've ever seen. And then, things got stranger. Some of these signals come back. Most fire once and vanish, gone forever. But a small number repeat, same spot, again and again. If something explodes, it can't explode twice. Whatever is repeating has to survive. One source has fired hundreds of times. A small galaxy, 3 billion light years away. And it doesn't repeat randomly. It pulses in patterns. Magnetars don't do that. So, if it's not a magnetar, what is it? In 2020, a research team looked closely at the repeating bursts. They found regular intervals, specific frequencies, structures inside the signals that looked almost like information. Now, most people stopped there. Interesting anomaly, probably natural, move on. But some didn't. Avi Loeb, Harvard astronomer, the same one who suggested Oumuamua might be alien technology. He asked a question most people didn't want to ask. What if these bursts aren't natural at all? Think about what we know. The signals are insanely powerful. Some repeat in rhythmic patterns. They contain internal structures we don't understand, and they're coming from every direction in the universe. Loeb's idea was this. What if an advanced civilization, billions of years old, built something, something enormous, a transmitter, a beacon, an engine. Not to talk to us. We're not even on their radar. Just imagine their technology leaking into space, the way our TV signals and radio waves leak out from Earth. Except their leakage is so powerful, it crosses billions of light years and still hits us like a hammer. To produce that kind of power consistently, we're not talking about a planet with nuclear reactors. We're talking about a civilization that has learned to harness the energy of entire stars. Scientists have a name for that level of civilization, a Type 3 civilization on the Kardashev scale, a species that controls the energy of an entire galaxy. We are Type 0. We still argue about the internet. And yet, something out there might be Type 3, sending signals so casually powerful that we pick them up by accident. The way a lighthouse doesn't care if a single ant on the beach notices the light. But it gets stranger. Remember the repeating source? The one that fires hundreds of times, from the same spot, in rhythmic patterns. What natural object pulses with that kind of regularity? Pulsars do, but we've ruled those out. Magnetars don't. Their bursts are chaotic, not rhythmic. The only things we know of that produce regular, rhythmic signals are things that are designed to. There's another theory that goes even further. What if the fast radio bursts aren't leakage at all? What if they're propulsion? In 2017, Loeb and his colleague published a paper. They calculated that a beam of this power, focused on a light sail, could accelerate a spacecraft to a significant fraction of the speed of light. In other words, what if we're not seeing signals at all? What if we're seeing the exhaust of an alien transport network? Ships crossing the universe right now. Meanwhile, we're still trying to get to Mars. Most scientists consider this unlikely. The natural explanations are strong. Magnetars are real. The physics mostly works. Mostly. But here's what nobody can explain away. The repeating patterns, the internal structures, the rhythmic pulses from the same location hundreds of times. None of that fits neatly into any natural explanation we have. Every time we think we've closed the door on this mystery, the data pushes it back open. In 2022, a telescope in Canada called CHIME changed everything, built specifically to hunt these signals. Not a few per year, hundreds per day. Right now, as you watch this, these signals are hitting Earth. We just don't have enough telescopes pointed in the right direction to catch them all. Which means whatever is sending them is doing it constantly. Natural disaster, or something that never sleeps. Here's where we stand. These signals are real, insanely powerful, coming from billions of light years away. Some repeat in rhythmic patterns nobody can explain. The science says magnetars. But magnetars don't repeat like this. And they're not powerful enough to explain what we're seeing from billions of light years away. The alternative is something most people won't say out loud. That somewhere out there, something built this, something that operates on a scale we can't even imagine. And it's been running for longer than we've existed. We are right at the beginning of this story. The universe is sending us messages, thousands of them every single day. We just don't know what they mean. Yet. We have the telescopes, we have the data. We don't have the answer. So we'll ask you the same question the human race is still arguing about. Drop natural in the comments if you think magnetars explain everything. Or drop unknown if you think there's something out there we haven't found yet. Because in science, the most dangerous words are, we already know the answer. If you want to hear the next mystery, subscribe. We're just getting started.